I'm glad to finally include a starting lineup figure in a Vintage Toy Freedom episode because these are we're a very popular toy line. You can find them for very cheap. As you can see here, I got this at the Goodwill for $1. Also, they made so many. I mean, this is the 1990 series. You can see there are dozens and dozens, and they made these from, gosh, I don't know when this. I mean, definitely the mid '80s, definitely late '80s to, I mean, probably into the late '90s, if not later than that. And they made baseball, basketball, hockey, football, Olympics, golf, soccer, all kinds of special edition ones and things like that. But also, most notably, this is a Kenner figure based in Cincinnati. I'm in the outskirts of Cincinnati, the suburbs in northern Kentucky, but just a few minutes away. And yeah, these are, you just see these for cheap. I mean, when I was at Goodwill, they had probably about a dozen or so baseball players, another dozen or so hockey players. I remember about a year or so ago, I was in another Goodwill, and I mean, they just had, probably 30 or 40 of these. And I think probably what happened was, with this being late 80s into the 90s, people just hoarded these. Kind of the speculator boom that happened with comic books and baseball cards and things like that. They just grabbed a bunch of these, held on to them, thinking they'd be worth money, and they're not because there's such a glut of them. But they are kind of cool, if you got your favorite player. I mean, if you like Don Mattingly, there he is. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. And this was actually 1990. They were the wire-to-wire World Series champions. So they hold a special place in my heart. I actually had the Chris Sabo figure. And while I'm opening this, I'm going to tell you an interesting story about that. So, and this is going to sound kind of bougie, but so I had a Chris Sabo figure, and if you're familiar with these, sometimes they came with a coin. This one actually, this year, they came with the rookie card as well as the current year card. And might I just say, I think Don Mattingly looks a lot better without the mustache. I mean, that's kind of, he's got the porno stash there. There he's looking very Patrick Swayze-esque. Anywho, so we're going to Mexico. I had a Chris Sabo figure, and I got it for my birthday because my birthday's the end of March, and we had, like, the week later was spring break. So I didn't take the figure with me on the trip, but I took the coin because it was small, fit in my pocket, things like that. So one day we're down there, and we're in Estapa, Mexico, and my dad, when I wake up, my dad goes, "I can't find or he said, your Chris Sabo coin is gone." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I was cleaning off the table, and I knocked it down. It rolled out the door, off the balcony, and it's just gone." And I was like getting really upset. And then he goes, "April Fools," and it was April 1st. And I thought that was a pretty solid April Fool's Day joke that my dad had pulled on me, because I was pretty stoked about that coin. Because when you're a kid, I would have been 7. So, when you're a kid, and sometimes you have something really weird you like. Obviously you have a toy, maybe a stuffed animal, but every now and then you'll have just something, I don't know, just something dumb that you'll really, really be into. It might be a t-shirt, or like a pencil, or an eraser, or just, I don't know, something like that. Mine was, at that time, my Chris Sabo coin. So I just thought it was kind of a funny thing. I would like to get my hands on a Chris Sabo figure. He's kind of a cult hero around here in Cincinnati. So yeah, the starting lineup: Don Mattingly, card, rookie of the year, or rookie, sorry. And here's the 1990 edition. Don Mattingly shows all his stats with the Yankees. And yeah, here he is. The starting lineup figures are cool. You can pose them and things like that, but that's what's kind of weird, is that they're sort of stuck in that pose, which I guess makes sense. If he's batting, he's about to crack a homer. I guess he had, how many homers did he have? 23 in '89. That's not too bad. Definitely down from his peak of 35 in 1985. But yeah, and then actually it's kind of cool here. You can cut this out and fold it in such a way and tape it so that you can put the card and the figure in a little stand. I've never seen anybody do that before, but I might try that. I always like, there's a sticker here. I wonder what happened to that proof of purchase, but yeah, I mean, there's some legends on here. Obviously, the Reds mentioned, but you got Barry Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, Kirby Puckett. He's kind of a fan favorite. Bo Jackson, George Brett. Who else we got on here? Gary Sheffield, Cal Ripken, Nolan Ryan, Wade Boggs, Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Dave Stewart. That's that lineup right there. Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, Dave Stewart, Dennis Eckersley, and Ricky Henderson. But you know what? You know who beat them? You know who swept them in the 1990 World Series? The Cincinnati Reds. Wire to wire World Series champions: Eric Davis, John Franco, Barry Larkin, Chris Sabo, Paul O'Neill, Todd Benzinger, Rob Dibble, one of the Nasty Boys. So that was a year to be alive. I was 7 years old. It was cool. Very, very cool. Anywho, thanks for watching. This is the starting lineup. Don Mattingly, Vintage Toy Freedom, Kenner Toys, 1990. And I hope to get my hands on some of these. If I get a Chris Sabo, you will know for sure. I will open that bad boy up in the parking lot in my car when I find one of those. So, thanks for watching, and go Reds.